those of you guys who, if you know of somebody that was having a hard time getting to the class meeting today, let them know that I am recording this, and I'm going to talk about some pretty darn important stuff today. So please, I'm going to send a message out to those guys that weren't able to get here. But if you know anybody, please let them know that I am recording this, and that it would be great for them to go back and take a look at this. So we are going to go to where most of the action happens, as we already know, in the classwork tab. And every single class period from now on, I'd like you to go right here. Basically, step 1 is to do your starter. Step 2 is to go to this whiteboard app. You're going to open up that whiteboard app. Oh no, oops. I just accidentally deleted that, didn't I? I sure the heck did. Doggone it. Okay. Hold on one second, guys. I'm going to put it back on there right now. So you should be able to get to the tab in a second. Told you, that's not going to be the last mistake I make today, you guys. So you might as well get used to it. Okay. Hey, the good thing about online is that it's pretty easy to fix mistakes like this. Why can't I add the link? Okay, well, we're just going to go to the website then. So let me put in big letters for you. So this is the name of the website. Just open up another tab, please, and go to the website that is titled, it doesn't have to be all in caps like this is, whiteboard.fi. So open up another tab, please, and go to the website, whiteboard.fi, and I'm going to go kind of slowly just to make sure I don't lose anyone. So for the very first step, we'll go to that website right there, whiteboard.fi. And then you're going to click on Join Class. And then you're going to type in the code. It changes every day. From now on, I'm always going to write it on the opening PowerPoint so that you always know what the code is. I didn't today because I figured you wouldn't know what I was talking about at first. So today's code is a lowercase k, 8, 9, 3, oops. Why is my screen doing something goofy? And then a lowercase b. So K, 8, 9, 3, B. And all of those letters are lowercase. Sorry that my screen, that B looks, well, it all looks pretty darn ugly. You guys will get kind of used to that. My handwriting, I'm not going to lie, it stinks. So once you get, it asks you for a room code, and that is our room code. And then it's going to ask you for your name. I see some people getting signed in. That's perfect. I'm already seeing you guys popping up. So just in case anybody needs a repeat about how I got here, hopefully you've opened up another tab and you're going to whiteboard.fi. You're going to click on Join Class. And then the name of the class code for today that you are going to type into that box, again, is K, 8, 9, 3, what is up with this thing? 3 and B. So K, 8, 9, 3, B. And it looks like everybody's gotten in there. So what I see on my computer screen right now is I see all of your whiteboards. And you can do a lot of different things on these whiteboards. You can type a message. You can use the pen function to draw on it. You can upload a picture. You can do a lot of different things. But the most important thing I want you to know that you can use this for, like I see in front of me all your screens right now. If you have any questions, if, even if it's something like, oh my gosh, Dr. PB, you are going way too fast for me. I need you to repeat that. Please, please, please speak up. You can and you don't feel comfortable calling out to the group, you can simply just put that on your board and it'll pop up to me instantly and I will know to slow down. So anything you need from me today, that is what this is going to be here for. So without further ado, let's go ahead and yay, we actually get to start doing some math today. I'm like really excited. Probably more excited than you guys are, I know. But, so hopefully we have all gone to, as far as our classwork, we've gotten our Algebra 1 daily starter done. Today, we are going to start with mean, median, mode classwork. And I'm trying to figure out what is going on with hold on a second, guys. So we're going to go to that mean, median, mode, class kick 1. And my main point for today, if the math is a little bit confusing for you, because I know a whole bunch of you guys did your work, you did your homework, you did that entrance ticket. So you know how to find mean, median, mode, and range. But several of you guys, you did it like days ago, right? Because we had a snafu with our schedule. So if you're having a hard time remembering how to do this particular content, I'm not as stressed about that today. Today, what I really, really, really want to do is help you review it and figure out how to use the actual application here. So I am not, if the work is a little bit confusing to you today, please do not get stressed out about that because we're going to go very slowly so that you understand how to use this. We're probably not even going to get done with it today. I'm probably going to have to change the date again, but I want to make sure you guys feel comfortable and you're ready to go. So I see a couple people already turned this in, so I'm not sure. I'll look at you guys in a second here. But from now on, keep in mind, you guys, that if it has a little computer icon by it, if you worked ahead, I'm certainly not mad at you. That's certainly fine. But you don't have to. Anything that has a computer next to it is something that we are going to do here in class. So you don't ever have to worry about doing that ahead of time. And it's going to be just a tad bit confusing to get logged in. So let me walk you through the steps. So you're going to click on the link for Class Kick. My computer, it works best in Chrome, so if you're not using Chrome, that's definitely the one that's the best. Don't get worried. I know your class code right here doesn't match my class code, and that's okay. The reason it doesn't match is because I hacked my own kids' account. And I created a Google Classroom under my kids so that I could be able to show you what it looks like from a student side. So anytime I log you onto ClassKick, your class code probably isn't going to match mine. And that's because this is my kid's fake account that I made. So don't worry about that not matching. Okay. Now, it would be tempting. You would think that what you would do is type your name in there and you would go, right? That is not what you're going to do, okay? You guys all have a special upgraded account. So you're going to go, right, and it's an upgraded one that, it's called Portfolio, that it saves all of your work for the whole year so you can go back and review it. So you're actually going to go here to log in with Portfolio. So again, I'm going to repeat that just in case anybody needs it. So we're not filling anything in there. We're going right here to log in with Portfolio. You would think that you would type something in here. You're not going to type in anything there. Instead, you're going to continue with Google. We've got a couple classmates that are trying to get in here.
Right there, wait on us in just like 10 minutes. Max, 10 minutes. That's it. I do it.
All right, so does anybody, I'm going to pop. So if we ended up in the right place, we should have ended up with a screen. Or, oh, actually, you got to choose your account. Sorry. Choose your account. And if we ended up in the right place, your screen should look something like this. So I'm going to pause for a second. All of you guys, somebody, if you need me to stop for a minute, please write that down on your whiteboard for me. I'm going to give you a second to let me know. Anybody need the code again? Anybody need me to go back and explain what you need to be on right now?
You want us to write this?
What? Yeah, so your screen should look just like this. Don't do anything else for the moment, but I just want to make sure everybody's on the right screen. If we're not, and I'm going to check, if we're not, I'm going to give you a second to make sure that you got it. Give somebody a minute to tell me if they need a minute. All right, so nobody needs a second. Okay, so every single time we do work in class, this is going to be the program that we use that's called ClassKick. And you've noticed that your work this year is going to be a little bit probably in reverse from what you're used to. Your homework is actually taking notes and before class. And the reason I do that is because I talked to my students last spring about what they did and didn't like about NTI. And one of the things they really wish that we had done is that we had had more time for them to ask questions and more time to get some one-on-one help. And so I thought that was a really great suggestion. So that's why you guys have noticed that, because like 99% of you guys did your homework, which is fantastic, that entrance ticket. And so you noticed that entrance ticket was actually doing the notes. And the idea of that is that when we come here to class, instead of having to spend the first half of class listening to me just like drone on and give notes, you already know how to do it, or at least you have a decent idea how to do it, and you're ready to practice for me to for you to ask questions and get help from me. If you get done with your classwork early every period, like I know I'm going to be when I was in school, I was the last one done every time because I ask a million questions. I ask for a lot of help. If you're that guy, if you're like me, well then great. You can be here for the whole hour. I will help you. I also have an extra help session tomorrow that you can come to as well. But if you know how to do this and you can knock it out real quick, and I'm not going to waste your time by making you stay here and get that done too. So I want to make sure you guys understand that. So ideally, most of you guys have gone through, you've already done the notes, but I know those of you guys that did your notes, that was last week, so you might have forgotten a couple things. So I'm going to show you how to use this software at the same time that I'm going to kind of review how to do it as well. So you guys have the advantage right now. Usually you're my first class, but because of our tech issues last week, you guys are the last group that I'm doing this assignment with. Every single person had an issue with number 4. So this is the one that we're going to work on together. We are going to look at problem number 4. And ClassKick is really cool for a couple of reasons. It has a lot of really great features. One of the things is, as you write on it, or type or do anything, I can actually see what you're doing at exactly the same time. So it's about as close as we can possibly get to being in the classroom together. So that's pretty awesome. I can literally see what you're writing at exactly the same time that you're writing it. So I can help you out as you're going. I used to, in the dark ages when the teacher made you just sit there in silence and do 30 math problems, I would end up doing the entire worksheet. I would think I was doing it right. And then I would get to the end and the teacher would check it and I realized I missed a bunch. So I don't ever want you guys to have that experience. So I really like for you to be able to see, or I want me to be able to see what you're doing as you are doing it. So let me show you a couple of features for how this works. So there is a pen mode right here. So you can take your mouse pad and you can write, or if you have a touch screen, it does work pretty well on the phone. I'm going to show you that in a minute too. If you want to use your phone, and because phones do have a touch screen, so I get why you might want to use that. So if you do have a phone, the pen will work on there. So there's the pen. There's a highlighter. Oops. Highlighter's right there. We've got a text box, so you can type things in there. You can type me messages. When we start graphing, there's lines that you can add, which I really like. And there's a couple of things here that are my favorite thing that I think are pretty cool. The first thing is this button right here that says add audio. So let's say that you've got really, really lousy handwriting like I do. It's still really important to me for you to tell me and explain your thinking and tell me how you got your answer. And so it might be easier for you to actually put a recording right in there. And I'll show you how that works. So let's say maybe you're stuck on number 4. You can start this recording. You can say something like, hey, Dr. PB, I'm a little bit confused. I already added everything together for the mean, but I forgot what to divide by. Stop. It gives me a little voice thing right here, and I see it instantly, and I can listen to your message. So I really love that. The other thing that I really like about this is that I understand, and I've read your all surveys, some of you guys just don't like doing work on the computer, and I understand that. I'm older, so I don't do paper very much because I can stay a lot more organized electronically, but there's a lot of math that's just easier to do on paper. So if you're that person that just doesn't want to use the pen or the highlighter or the text box, you would rather just do the problem on paper, that's cool. There's an option for how you can do that too. So if you click add image, the little camera button right there, and the Chromebooks that you guys have from JCPS do have webcams on them, and you just want to click camera, you can literally hold your scratch work up, click capture, and it'll give me a picture of your work on paper right there. So there's lots of different options for how you can explain to me what your thinking is. The important part is that I get it. It is up to you how you do it. Okay, so what I'd like you to do now is I'm going to review with you how to do mean, median, mode, and range by using example number 4. And while I do that, I want you to decide, are you going to use the pen? Are you going to use the text box? Are you going to type your work in there? Are you going to use the computer or are you just going to do it on paper and then upload an image? Whatever you want to do, my main point for today is for us to practice doing this. I don't need you to get too worried about the math today. Today, I just want us to learn how to use this program. And anytime you run into an issue, just make sure that you can either speak up or just type me a little message. I'll stop and I will totally help you out. So, I'm going to start with let's start with the mean. And so again, I really want you to type this with me as you're doing it, okay? Because again, that's for practice, and this will be a nice memory jog for those of us who need it, okay? So to find the mean of a set of data, there's 2 steps that we have to accomplish, okay? The very first thing we need to do is we need to add all those numbers together. So in our table here, we have a list of different, I think these are senators, yep, and the age that they were when they got into office. So you have all these ages, and the first thing we're being asked to find is the mean of all of those different ages. So the first thing we need to do is add them together. I am going to, and you are allowed to use a calculator, I am going to very, very, very strongly recommend that you don't use a phone calculator. Those phone calculators, you know, at least mine anyway, is like when you, especially if you have a whole bunch of numbers that you have to combine, it doesn't leave a running tally. Like if you make a mistake, it's hard to figure out where your mistake was because it doesn't keep track of all the numbers that you're putting in as you're doing it. So on Google Classroom, I shared with you guys in the same spot where the whiteboard app is. If you go back here to where it says helpful tools and links, see where it says here's the link to a good online calculator. I very strongly suggest that you use that calculator, and I'm going to use it and show you what's so cool about it. So you might want to just open up another window right now. I'm going to use, I'm going to open it up to, first of all, it's just a free online calculator. You can make it bigger and smaller so that it fits on your screen. And I'm going to use this calculator to do step 1. I'm going to take all these ages and I'm going to add them together. And you're getting ready to see what I like so much about this calculator. So I'm going to go, especially when you have a big, long list of numbers like this. So I'm going to start typing them in. You can use your keyboard or you can actually type on the calculator, which is nice. So I'm going to start typing. And what's great about this calculator, again, is that it shows you and it keeps track of all the numbers that you're putting in. So if you're like me and you have a tendency to make a lot of mistakes when it comes to like putting in long lists of numbers, I'm not going to lie, I goof all the time. And so if you're like me, this calculator is great because it helps you to keep track of what you've already put in there. So I'm adding all the numbers together for step 1. It would be great if you were doing this at home with me. I hope you are. So I've just gone through. I've added all those numbers together. And for those of you guys who did your entrance tickets, you're probably you might remember, especially after I tell you, step 1 was that we added them all together. And then step 2 is we're going to divide by how many numbers we have. And again, guys, please make sure that you are doing this with me, whether you're writing it on paper, writing it with the pen feature, typing, whatever it is you're doing, I want you to practice using this along with me. So step 1 was to add them. Step 2 was to divide by how many numbers we have. And here, is where I want you to be super duper careful. This is a mistake that lots of people make all the time. Sorry guys, you can probably hear my neighbor's dog going crazy for some reason. Okay, so notice I typed all the numbers in there. And now, first of all, I guess I need to figure out how many numbers I have, right? So if I count the number of ages that I have here, I'm going to see that there are 17 numbers in that data set. So there are 17 numbers in that list. So that means we need to divide by 17. So we got to add them all together, and then we're going to divide by 17. So we're going to do 846. I got 846 when I added them all together, and we're going to divide by 17. Now, I'm getting ready to make a mistake. Well, it's not really a mistake, but it's just something to tell you to be careful about. Notice how I typed all the numbers in here. Now I'm getting ready to do something wrong, okay? Do not do, like just take your hands off the keyboard for a second. Don't do what I'm doing right now, okay? I typed them all in, hit divided by 17. Notice how what the calculator did is first of all, this doesn't make any sense. That how could the average of these numbers be 802 when all these numbers were like 40, 50, 60, stuff like that? So that should be the first clue that you did something wrong. And notice what I did here. The problem is right here in this step. Because what your calculator did is it did the division first, and then it added all of this together, because your calculator does order of operations. So you have to make sure that you're careful. And this is another reason I really like this calculator, because it's super easy to go back and fix mistakes. So I'm just going to put my cursor right there under the 17. I'm just going to delete it. So first I'm going to hit the enter button to get my 846. And then I'm going to do 846 divided by 17. And I'm going to hit enter again. So my mean is 49.76 with this jacked up decimal, right? I made a mistake. Cardinal rule for math teachers is I should have told you how to round. I didn't tell you how to round. So I can't be too picky about what answer you get here. Typically in math, we round to the first decimal place. So we're going to round that 7. So we need to so it's going to be 49 point something. We need to decide whether we're going to keep that 7 as a 7 or whether we're going to round it up to 8. And you might remember from middle school that you look at the number next door, and if that number is 5 or bigger, then you round that number up. So that 7 is going to get rounded up to 49.8. So I'm going to type here on my class kick, I'm going to type 49.8 for the mean. So I want to stop there for a second and give you guys the opportunity now to look at numbers 1, 2, and 3. And I know we have to do a lot more than finding the mean. It's okay. We're probably not going to get done with it today because I've spent a lot of time showing you guys how to use new things today. Go ahead now, and I want you all to go up to number 1, 2, and 3. First of all, if you're doing work on paper, go ahead and make sure you upload right now the work that you did for number 4. Okay, if you're doing your work on paper, do not wait until you get to the end of the worksheet to show me your answer, because I want to see it, as you're doing each problem. So what I'd like again for everybody to do now is to go to numbers 1, 2, and 3 and just do the mean. So remember how we find the mean? we've got to add all those numbers together, and we need to divide by how many numbers we have. So I am going to stop sharing my screen so that I can start meddling a little bit and peeking in on the work that you're doing. And please feel free to either write a question. This is a kind of a cool feature too. You can just add a text box anytime you want to, right on your paper. And you can say something like, you know, I'm stuck, I don't remember how to do it, and I will see what you're writing instantly. So that's kind of cool too. So you can either write me a note here, you can write it on your dry erase board. If you've got any kind of problems whatsoever, oh, shoot, I forgot one of the most important parts before you get started. Look right up here in that right-hand corner. See where the little hand raising icon is? So if you need help from me, you click that raise your hand button, and you can ask me for help in 2 different ways. You can say, please help, or if you just want me to check your work, you can do that too. So you can ask me for help, or you can ask me to check your work. I get an instant notification that lets me know that you need help. And then another really super cool feature is if somebody in your class asks for help, you're going to see the little handprint right there pop up, and you can actually click on it and it'll tell you who needs help. And if you go to help that classmate, I will give you some extra engagement points, which is pretty nice to have right here at the beginning of the school year, right? So if somebody helps you, just type on your paper, you know, like, Emily helped me, for example. And then I will go back and I'll give Emily some points for helping you on that paper too. So if you need immediate help while you're doing the mean, the median, the mode, and the range, make sure you can raise your hand and I can get to you that way too. So now I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'm going to give you guys some time so I'm giving everybody kind of a little bit of extra time to get it finished if you didn't already get it done. And again, most of you all have it. So you don't have any homework tonight if you already got the entrance ticket done and my survey done. Okay, you guys kind of have an extra day because it's not your fault that we had some technical difficulties, and I get you might have been confused, like you weren't sure if it was due or not. It was due. If you didn't do either of those things, please have them done by Wednesday when we come back to our next class. And as long as you're done with our current assignment, as long as you got the class kick and you've just got the mean for 1, 2, 3, and 4 finished, that's great. That is all you needed to have done for today because, like I said, I just really wanted you to practice with the program. So you can get out of here early if you do happen to be finished already. And I will see you guys on Wednesday. And I really hope that you have a great next couple of days. I also wanted to tell you that I will be doing an extra help session. Actually, let me share my screen with you again real quick so you can see that. If you're a little worried, you feel like you did the notes and you're still a little confused, you can see on our schedule that I will have an extra help session on Wednesday. Oh, oops, I'm sorry, that's the wrong week. We'll have an extra help session tomorrow. And that extra help session will be from 3 to 4 o'clock tomorrow. So if you need a little bit of extra help, you can join me here on the Algebra 1, like on the same link that we used for class. I'll have an extra help session you can drop in between 3 and 4 tomorrow. Okay, now I'm done running my mouth. If you guys have any other questions, though, you know that you can always reach out via email. You can text me. You can add a private comment. But those of you guys that are done, have a great rest of your day. You're going to be I'm sitting here grading these right this second, so you're going to be getting feedback from me very soon. And thanks a lot, you guys, for your attention. I know it sucks when we're doing new stuff and you have to sit here and just listen to me talk about